Hey there, mighty warriors and axe wielders of the arcade realm. Today we're slicing through the legendary pixel battleground of Golden Axe. We'll uncover how this arcade classic carved its way into gaming history, from its heroic battles to the secret tricks hidden within its enchanted lands. Grab your joystick and let's jump right into the action-packed world of Golden Axe. Back in the late 1980s, the gaming world was bustling with innovation, and Sega, eager to carve out its niche, embarked on a project that would blend the thrill of fantasy with the rush of combat. The mastermind behind this vision was Makoto Uchida, a developer whose previous work on Altered Beast had already marked him as a pioneer in the arcade genre. Uchida, inspired by the popularity of the fantasy elements in films and books of the era, aimed to create a game that wasn't just about fighting, but an immersive journey through the mythical world. He was particularly influenced by the film Conan the Barbarian, which is evident in Golden Axe's muscular heroes and dark, gritty atmosphere. Along Uchida, artist Nao Morisaki brought the game's characters to life, infusing each sprite with a distinct personality that transcended the typical arcade flair. Development of Golden Axe was a tale of both triumph and challenge. The team pushed the Sega System 16 hardware to its limits, incorporating larger character sprites and more complex backgrounds than seen in previous games. This ambition, however, was not without its hurdles. The programmers faced significant difficulties in managing memory and ensuring smooth gameplay, which required innovative coding techniques that later became standard practice in game development. One particularly interesting challenge was the creation of the game's magic system. Uchida wanted a mechanic that felt powerful and rewarding, leading to the iconic scenes where players summoning elemental forces could clear the screen of enemies. This feature not only set Golden Axe apart from other beat-em-ups of the time, but also added a strategic layer to the hack-and-slash gameplay. Now let's dive deeper into the enchanted realm of this game to find that its story isn't just a backdrop, it's the heartbeat of the adventure. Set in the mystical land of Uria, the game unfolds a simple yet compelling tale of good versus evil. The villainous Death Adder has taken over the kingdom, holding the king and his daughter hostage while threatening destruction with the power of the titular Golden Axe. It's a story that taps into the classic fantasy trope of a heroic quest, resonating deeply with fans of epic sagas and legendary warriors. At the forefront of this quest are three distinct characters, each with a personal vendetta against Death Adder. Axe Battler, a barbarian warrior, seeks revenge for the murder of his mother. Tyrus Flare, an Amazon warrior, is driven by the annihilation of her family. Gilius Thunderhead, a dwarf, desires retribution for his brother's death. These characters aren't just avatars for the player, they are the emotional core of the game, each bringing a unique perspective and fighting style that enhances the gameplay experience. The character development was heavily influenced by pop culture of the time. The visual design and personal motivations draw clear parallels to characters from high fantasy genres, particularly, as mentioned earlier, Conan the Barbarian, which helped make the narrative more relatable and engaging for the players. This approach to character-driven storytelling was somewhat novel in arcade games of that era, which typically prioritized action over narrative. Although the structure of Golden Axe is straightforward yet effective, with the game divided into several levels that represent the journey across Uria, culminating in a final showdown with Death Adder. This progression through the different stages isn't just geographical, it's a narrative arc that sees the characters grow stronger and more determined. The straightforward plot combined with distinct character arcs helps players invest emotionally in the action, enhancing their overall engagement with the game. But at its core, the game features a simple control scheme designed for the arcade environment. One joystick and three buttons, one for attacking, jumping, and unleashing magical spells. But simplicity in controls doesn't mean simplicity in play. The game requires mastery over timing and strategic use of the environment to succeed against hordes of enemies. One of the defining features of Golden Axe is the cooperative play, allowing two players to join forces in any combination of the three heroes. This not only doubles the fun, but also introduces a layer of strategy, as players can combine their strengths and cover each other's weaknesses. The characters' varied abilities, Axe Battler's balanced skills, Tyrus Flare's powerful magic, and Gilius Thunderhead's swift attacks ensure diverse gameplay dynamics that cater to different playing styles. And hey, if you've ever smashed your controller in frustration or triumph thanks to these ingenious mechanics, why not smash that like and subscribe button too? It's less expensive, and hey, you won't need to buy a new one. Moving on, Golden Axe also introduced the concept of mountable beasts, dragons and other mythical creatures that players can ride and use to attack enemies with fiery breath or tail whips. This added an exciting layer to the combat system, providing a tactical advantage and visual flair to the battles. The mounts aren't just powerful tools, but also strategic assets that need to be protected from being commandeered by enemies. The game's difficulty is carefully calibrated, with enemies and bosses that require understanding their patterns and devising quick counter strategies. This balance maintains a challenging yet achievable learning curve, keeping players engaged without tipping into frustration. The inclusion of a limited magical power system where players had to collect items to either use for smaller magic dispersion or accumulate to clear screens of enemies adds a crucial decision-making aspect. Players must choose the optimal moment to use these powers, adding a layer of depth to the hack-and-slack action. But it was this addictive gameplay design that led Golden Axe to quickly become a juggernaut in the arcade world and later on home consoles. With precise sales figures from the arcade version harder to pin down due to the nature of the industry at the time, it's widely recognized that the game was a substantial commercial success. When ported to the Sega Genesis, it helped drive console sales, showcasing the system's ability to bring home arcade quality experiences. This version alone sold over 400,000 copies, significantly exceeding Sega's initial projections and cementing its status as a must-have title. The impact of Golden Axe varied across different regions, resonating particularly well in North America and Europe, where the fantasy genre had a strong foothold. In Japan, while the game was popular, it competed with a plethora of other titles in a crowded arcade market. This variation in regional popularity provides insights into the cultural differences influencing the game's reception and popularity. Now, as we delve deeper into the mystical world of Golden Axe, it's time to uncover some of the hidden treasures and lesser-known facts that have intrigued players for decades. Whether you're a seasoned warrior or a newcomer to the game, these tidbits will add a layer to your understanding and appreciation of this classic title. One of the most charming Easter eggs in Golden Axe is the ability to kick little thieves who appear between levels. These diminutive characters, when kicked, drop magic potions or food for health recovery. What many players might not know is this mechanic was inspired by traditional folktales where mischievous spirits hide wealth and food from humans. The developers included this as a playful interaction to add a touch of humor and surprise to the gameplay. Another interesting trivia is related to the game's sound effects. The roar of the dragons and the clashing of the swords were actually modified versions of sounds from other Sega games, a common practice at the time due to storage limitations. This recycling not only saved memory, but also created a sonic consistency across Sega's arcade titles, which became a signature of sorts for the company. The developers also included a hidden homage to another popular Sega title, Altered Beasts, within this game. In certain scenes, players can spot statues and carvings that resemble characters from Altered Beast, linking Sega's universe in subtle but delightful ways. And there you have it, folks, the axe-swinging, dragon-riding epic that is Golden Axe, wrapped up tighter than a gnome's coin purse. We've journeyed through the enchanted forest, battled alongside heroes with questionable fashion sense, and unearthed secrets that were buried deeper than the dungeons of Death Adder. Until our next retro adventure, keep those controllers charged and your curiosity alight, because you never know what old school gem will dig up next. If you enjoyed exploring the halls of Golden Axe, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.